after breaking the English or British record in there with Jack Grealish buying him at £100 million. Remember, there has been no player who has really exchanged either from the Premier League, in the Premier League, from one Premier League side to another, and he has costed close to £100 million in there. There are exits that have been from the Premier League going outside the Premier League, and they've costed £100 million plus, like Eden Hazard, Coutinho in there, and very many other players, just to mention but a few. But this time round, it was Man City that broke the British record of a team from crossing from one Premier League side to another at £100 million in there. The most deal that has ever happened to the Premier League has been that of Pogba in there, who came in at United at £93 million in there, and the same applies to Harry Maguire. Lukaku came in, but he never broke it because it was 115 million euros, not million pounds in there. So that means Man City broke that record in there, and they are willing to go ahead and break the same record and bring in a player who goes by names of Kane to a team which goes by names of Man City from Tottenham Hotspur at 150 million pounds in there. Welcome to the Football News Top 10s and Lifestyle Zone. This is Rokani David, aka arane, to this channel which goes by names of Football News Top 10s and Lifestyle Zone. That's my name. You can as well follow me on all various social media platforms, on Twitter at It's Rokani David, Instagram Rokani David, Facebook Rokani David. In there you can get me all over in there, and you can follow me up, and we can continue with the jazz and buzz when you are not here on YouTube, because here we are limited. But each and every time with their platforms, I'm always there. You can tweet me and I can retweet you. I can like, favorite, and retweet in there. I can even quote your tweet with the reply in there. So guys, feel free to follow me on Twitter at It's Rokani David, at It's Rokani David on Twitter. Now, Man City look like they're desperate in there to get a signing of a man who goes by names of Kane. Remember, Kane, after the Premier League of last season, 2020-2021 came to an end, he came out and said that he wants to leave Man City, he wants to leave Tottenham Hotspur. He has dreams of winning league trophies, Champions Leagues in there, because he feels like he has given enough to a team which goes by Tottenham Hotspur in there. And this news was broken by Sky Sports in there, and then after, Kane himself went ahead to really go ahead and confirm these rumors when a man who goes by names of Gary Neville, the ex-legend of Manchester United, was interviewing him on his program, which goes by the names of The Overlap in there, and told him that I really want to leave Tottenham Hotspur for a club. Now we're asking ourselves, who was behind this? Who acted as a catalyst for Kane to be brave enough? A man left with 3 years on his contract, and his price is at £160 million. How come he has come out and really said that I really want to leave? And that meant that there was a team that had really told him that we have the money to come and buy you out of Tottenham Hotspur, because we know Daniel Levy is a man of money. Without money, you cannot take the player. So we are all asking ourselves, which team was that? Which team was that? And guess what? Into the Euros, after England won against Denmark and they were into the finals, preparing to play a team which goes by the names of Italy, where they lost into penalties with Italy in there. A man who goes by the names of, I think it was Sky Sports in there, it came up and really broke the news that Man City had really submitted a bid of £100 million at Tottenham Hotspur, and Daniel Levy had rejected it. So that told us that it was Man City that was behind engineering this deal of a man who goes by the names of Kane to join them. And Pep Guardiola has made it clear in his I think that Community Shield in there, that interview, the Community Shield in there towards the pre-match, when they're going to play Leicester City. Remember, they lost to Leicester City by 1-0, and they really saw themselves not winning a Community Shield in there. So they came out and really told him and told the press that we are really interested in Kane, and we are really looking at that move in there. Now, news came in today at Sky Sports around lunchtime. Fabrizio Romano was interviewed in there, and he really stated it out clear that Man City are preparing a bid of 150 million euros in there to a team which goes by names of Tottenham Hotspur in there, to see to it that they land the signing of Kane in this week that we are really going to start, or we've started. That is, today is 16th up to 20th, 22nd. Pep Guardiola wants this deal done. So it means that Pep Guardiola and Man City are ready to break another record of buying Harry Kane at 150 million euros in there, close to 130 million pounds, and they are ready to put on some add-ons, because most of you will ask yourselves that we had Tottenham Hotspur saying that if at all someone does not have 160 million pounds in there, there is no way they are really selling off Harry Kane in there. Now, they really want to get in 150 million euros. You get, that is 130 million pounds. Then after, they'll go and really submit, they'll go and agree on a deal and really schedule it very well on the add-ons in there. How will the add-ons come through to your team? Because they want 130 million pounds, then the remaining 30 million pounds will come on as add-on. So that means this deal is going to happen, because Tottenham Hotspur will accept this money, because if at all Harry Kane completes this year without leaving Spurs, that means he will be at 100 or 80 million pounds in there, because he will be left with just 1 year in there, and it has to depreciate, because if at all he goes another year at Spurs, that means his price will depreciate again. So I think Spurs are really going to accept this deal from Man City. It looks like Man City are very hungry, because when you look at their games, because last season I was reading certain statistics. Man City have played their last 3 competitive games. They lost to Chelsea into the so-called final of the Champions League 1-0. They lost to Leicester City into the Community Shield 1-0, and they lost to Tottenham Hotspur yesterday in there at the Tottenham Hotspur new stadium in there in London, 1-0. And they are great chances, but they lack a player who is really going to come up and complete that chances. And I think they are really wanting Harry Kane for a reason, because he's the number 9. Man City, apart from Kun Aguero who left, Man City don't have a player whom they are sure that he can really net in 30 goals a season. But when you look at Harry Kane, he can even net in 40 when he comes at Man City, according to the rate at which Man City really creates chances. When you have Jack Grealish, you have Kevin De Bruyne, you have Sterling, you have Riyad Mahrez in there, Gundogan in there, you have Cancelo, you have Zinchenko, you get, so a team which goes by the Man City has a variety, but there is a position they are lacking, and that is the number 9 or a centre forward. And the centre forward they are having goes by the names of Gabriel Jesus in there, who they think is not ready for the job, because ever since they brought him at Man City, he has failed to produce what he's expected to produce in there. So Harry Kane is expected to make his move to Man City, because Man City are serious on this. Pep Guardiola has made it clear he really wants a number 9. If at all he is to win the Champions League, because the main reason as to why they really want to bring in Harry Kane is the Champions League, because they feel like there is chance. Now, football shifted from Spain, French League 1, Italy in there, and I think for the next 3 or 4 seasons, you might see that Champions League going to the Premier League clubs in there, because when you look how they are really setting themselves up, they are really ready to go ahead and really win it. Remember, in 2019, it was a team which goes by names of Liverpool in there, and remember Liverpool had reached on close to 2 finals. You get, they reached on the first final, they were hit by Real Madrid. Their second final, they won it, and their third final, sorry, they never reached the third final. And Bayern Munich came in 2020, and 2021 it was Chelsea. You see, in the last 4 years, on all the finals, it has been only one final that the Premier League never had a team, and that was the final of 2020, where Bayern Munich played a team which goes by names of PSG, and Bayern won by 1-0, scored by, was it Bowman in there? Koeman, that French international in there. So when you look at the odds, it shows you that if at all Harry Kane is added to a team of Man City, they very much know that they will go ahead and win the Champions League. Look at the game of Chelsea. If at all they had a Harry Kane in there, they would have won it, because playing as a false 9, you must be having a very, 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 very high thinking and IQ, and the players around you must be really not playing lots of touches. But you look at Man City, the only player that they had who doesn't play lots of touches was Kevin De Bruyne in there, who even got an injury and got off the pitch. And Riyad Mahrez and Sterling, they always make lots of touches. Now, playing as a false nine, if at all you watch the game of Manchester United versus Leeds on Saturday, those goals that Bruno came in and scored, you saw how much Lindelof, Pogba really released him. If at all you are playing with a person who is playing a false nine role, you have to release him quickly. You don't have really to do lots of touches in there. You have to release him quickly in there to see to it that he goes in and does the needful for you. So that's what we expect from Man City, and that has failed. A false nine costed them a Champions League. It has costed them their last 2 games that they played in there, and now the manager, I think the best manager in the world according to me, Pep Guardiola, has come out and said, no, we want a number 9. That is Harry Kane, and I think this deal is going to happen. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed they are really planning this bid, and maybe today night or tomorrow morning this bid will be through, and we'll see what Spurs will react like in there. Man City look like they really want to spend this money because they have very many players they feel like they really want to leave their team, which goes by names of Man City, including one of the players, because I've gotten this story from the ESPN, the players they feel like can leave Man City: Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus, Bernardo Silva, Benjamin Mendy, and Emerick Laporte in there. So they've only sold Morgan Rogers in there, and they also sold a player who goes by the names of that left back of Leipzig in there. I've forgotten his name, but he plays left back for Leipzig in there. He was there on loan at Man City. Now Leipzig has really taken him. He's called who? That he has a bald head. I've forgotten his name, but he has his name on Nini or something in there. So it looks like Man City are ready to offload a man who goes by names of Harry Kane to bring in a player who goes by the names of Harry Kane. So they feel like they can raise close to 80 between 60 and 80 million pounds from the sales in there, because when you see Bernardo is at like 40 or 50 million pounds. Raheem Sterling, I think Raheem will stay, but Laporte, Mendy, Gabriel Jesus, I think they can even raise 100 million pounds from those sales, from the sales of those players, because there are very many teams that are really in need of those players in there. So that's the story I had right about now here on the Football News Top 10s and Lifestyle Zone. Feel free to subscribe to our channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Your reaction is welcome in the comment section below about a man who goes by names of Harry Kane being linked to Man City, as Man City is preparing a bid of 150 million euros in there to Spurs, and the remaining 30 million pounds will come through as add-ons in there. I'm out. See you later. Maybe I'm coming later. By the way, each and every time the Premier League ends the weekend, we really come up with what we call our team of the week. Today we are really going to discuss on our team of the week. That is the Premier League of the week, the Premier League team of the week. We are going to discuss about it today. So we are going to do a very big live stream. They are close to 1 hour. We are really going to be discussing your Premier League team of the week, as I'm going to come up with mine and you guys will come in with yours. Thank you guys for watching again. I'm out. Rokani David is my name. 5 fingers out to all those watching again. I salute you. May the Almighty bless you, and may the Holy Spirit guide you through your activities that you do on a daily. I'm out. RD is my name. I'm back. I'll be back in a jiffy.